Those dark spots under Aries Spears' eyes are really starting to concern me. Stay tuned for my thoughts and opinions on it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with your host, Nufftingz. So, I wanted to talk more about this VladTV Aries Spears issue, beef, whatever you want to call it. Um, but I also want to talk about my thoughts, my opinions, and these are just my opinions on Aries Spears and how he looks. And I know people clowning old dude about, the makeup and all that, but I'm looking at it a little bit more differently, like a little more deeply, right? So I've noticed for a long time, God, I don't know how long, maybe 2 years now, probably longer, when he would do these interviews with Vlad, how his body looked. And I don't mean really his body per se, more like his eyes, like his face and whatever, right? But even with the makeup that Vlad says he would put on Aries or get that lady to put on Aries, I would look at him and be like, yo, something's amiss here. Now, I also noticed that there's pictures circulating showing Aries when he was like 16 years old compared to him now. And I mean, like, bro, like Aries is what? 40s, 50s, I don't know, late 40s. I don't know how old the man is. But, if he's that much older, you're not going to look like how you did when you were 16. It's very rare that you see someone look like how they did when they were 16 years old. God, I don't look anything like when I was 16. I'm also diabetic, so there's that. But okay, so going back to what I was saying. So, what caught me is the darkness under his eyes, right? Now, like I said, like 10 seconds ago, I am diabetic. I've been diabetic for 31 years, type 1. Got that when I was a kid, right? The darkness under his eyes, like those dark spots, and I'm not a doctor, so don't hold this as gospel, usually, go with insulin resistance, right? Now, if you don't know what insulin resistance is, and I'll give you like what I know, and remember, I'm not a doctor, is that it starts to show stuff on your body. And what insulin resistance is, as I don't know why I said that part before, is that you take insulin to deal with diabetes, or your body's like, not able to give the right amount of insulin. It's something like that, right? See, I'm diabetic. I can only tell you from the diabetic side. So let's say I'm going through insulin resistance, right? I'll be taking 1 million units of insulin and I still can get the blood sugar down. The body's not absorbing it, right? And I don't know how it is for a regular person because I'm not a regular person anymore. So I don't know like what happens with the pancreas, if it's putting out the insulin and your body's not absorbing it, whatever, right? So like I said, I'm not a doctor. I only know like the gist of it, like just the vague description of it. I can't sit there and tell you step by step, but I've dealt with it before, right? And I'm telling you, like, you get these dark spots on the back of your neck and like on the side of your neck, and like they even say like some people get like not warts, but those little, are they warts? No, they're not warts, but they're like moles, right? So, and I hear that if you're overweight, it doesn't help and whatever, right? Like, I mean, if you're overweight, it doesn't help anything, right? Anyways, moving on. So like I said, and remember, don't yell at me. I am not a doctor. I'm only going by what I've experienced myself and what I've seen with other diabetics. Now, if you go on TikTok, you will see like these doctors that pop up. I don't know if they're real doctors, and they'll tell you signs of insulin resistance, and usually these are the things. So going back to what I was saying about like if I had insulin resistance, I would take, my Admelog and my blood sugar just stays high, right? Now, for someone that's older and getting type 2, because he's not getting type 1, I would assume, if he were to get diabetes. Remember what I said? I don't know. I'm just talking here. Um, the darkness under his eyes could be because of that, right? And one of the things I've learned about people, especially men, not stereotyping every man here, but, a lot of time men will have an issue. They don't want to tell anybody. They don't, let anybody know. They keep it to themselves, right? Which is fine. You have your pride and whatever, right? A lot of men are like Vegeta from Dragon Ball. They're not going to tell anybody they're vulnerable. They're not going to tell anybody, I'm sick or whatever. It could also be he doesn't know. Now, I will say, as a man with diabetes for 31 years, I noticed that things have changed for me. As in, I gain weight, I have a hard time taking it off, right? Or getting it off. I'm more tired now, right? The things I could do when I was 20, I can't do in my 40s. That also could be because I've gotten lazy, I had the kids and, I slowed down. I'm not blaming the kids or anything, I just got lazy, right? I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, well, I tried. Honestly, I used to work out a lot and then I just stopped. I was just like, you know what? I didn't go for a week, then I'll go next week, then I'll go the week after and whatever, right? You know, and I was more into raising the kids. And then my son got diabetes too at 8 years old. So then you got to deal with your son with diabetes, right? And he don't listen, and you got all these issues, right? So I can understand Aries doesn't want to go to the gym, doesn't want to eat healthy, whatever. Also, Aries is a guy that's out on the road a lot. Now, if you are out on the road a lot, he probably isn't cooking meals at home. He's not bringing a bag full of food with him, which is probably the better choice, right? You cook your own food at home, you put them in containers, and you bring them to work, right? He's not doing that. He's out at the clubs, he's doing his thing, and the man is extremely talented. Like, we let's not sit here and pretend like the man is not talented. The man is talented. He just has, an attitude, right? So he probably out there eating chicken, eating fried chicken. Because what do they serve at these clubs? They're not serving you a vegan salad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a salad would be vegan, right? But they're not selling you, chickpeas in your salad and all that, right? So homeboy probably eating fast food on a regular. I'm not blaming the man. Like, you're on the road, you make that money. But he also said he makes $3 million a year. And listen, Aries, brother, I'm going to ask you, man. I'm going to ask you as a person that actually cares about people's well-being. Bruh, go to the doctor. If you haven't gone in a while, like if you have gone and whatever, cool. But if you haven't, man, get that blood work done, man. Like, it's like out here, I'm in Canada, right? And we have free healthcare. It's not really free. We're paying the crap out of, we're paying a crap ton of insurance, the taxes, right? Like, even if you want to get dental coverage out here, you got to spend like $800 a month, right? Then you got to actually pay for the thing and you get like 60% of them to cover it, but you're still paying monthly, right? I'm not saying that's a lot. Like, I mean, if you're not rich or you're not making 80 grand a year, that would be something, right? But anyways, the point is, it's free because when you go to the doctor, you're not paying up front. Now, I know in the States, unless you have like medical insurance and all that, you got to pay, right? So I'd assume that with his $3 million, he has medical insurance. So he can go to the doctor and say, look, doc, I'm putting on the weight, I'm older, whatever. Let me just get a checkup. You know what I'm saying? Get checked, get the blood work in, and you could, then doctor tell you, okay, Mr. Spears, you got this, or, you're fine. Because here's the thing. Whatever we do is not the same for everybody, right? I know people that eat pounds and pounds and pounds of sugar, and I'm not making this like, we're talking about they put so much sugar in their tea, it's like syrup. And they ain't got no diabetes. They live to 100. Like, they're fine. Then you got people that eat a little sugar, and then next week they got diabetes. I'm not saying that's why, but you get my point here, right? There's things that, we're all different, right? You could be the most healthiest person in the world and then become the most sickest person in the world. Like, you could be going to the gym every day. You could be doing this, doing that. Like, remember in Breaking Bad, Walter White got cancer, lung cancer, and didn't even smoke. That's not like only in the show. That happens in real life. People be out there not smoking and get cancer. This is the type of thing. I'm not saying that every cancer is the same, but you know what I'm saying, right? So, Aries, brother, go get checked, man, because them eyes ain't lying, bro. Like, there's something not right. And what I noticed too when Vlad was talking, like Vlad did a video today where Charleston White interviewed him, right? And he's like, yo, or they released it today. He's like, yo, this is what Aries did. And Aries, one of the things I noticed too, Aries is hot sometimes. Like he's like in that, bro. Like he's like, yo, you're this, you're that. And he has all this energy, right? And then Vlad responds and he's just fizzled out. I mean, bro, that could be diabetes too. That could be like, yo, homeboy is, the blood sugar is high and he's got all this energy and then he has the crash out after. There's so many things that could be wrong here. But I feel that something isn't right. Like it's just the eyes, man. Like I can't get over like when you look at the eyes, like the blackness under his eyes. And the man is already black. And it's like these are like really dark spots. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, dude, this man needs to go get checked. Like, I mean, there could be nothing wrong with the man. But, but anyways, like I was saying, he probably has a lot of, pride, wouldn't go anyways. But it's like what I said about the insurance, right? Out here, people can go to the doctor free of charge when you walk in. Like you're not paying for it. You're paying your taxes, but when you go to the doctor to get checked, you ain't paying for it. And people still won't go. So I could only imagine another place where they don't have that and they have to pay every time they go. They just choose not to go. So I understand that. But dude, I really wish people would get checked, and let's be real here. Vlad is also dogging him, right? And everybody online is dogging Aries and making fun of him. And I do remember a long time ago, Vlad did interviewed somebody, and he says that he walks on his treadmill for an hour and a half every morning. And I mean, it's an hour and a half, an hour. That's a good amount of time to walk, right? At least he's staying active. Like, I mean, if you look at Vlad, he's not, he doesn't look like he looks older because of the beard, but he looks healthy. He's probably putting his money into his health too. And this is what a lot of people need to do. Yo, it's one thing to work your butt off, but you got to put a little bit of that money back into your life, into your health, bro. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, Aries could even have like a chef, cook his meals and all that. Even if this man were to get factor meals, it would probably be more healthier than what he's getting on the outside. And this is just my opinion. Like, I'm not out there with homeboy. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the drinking doesn't help either if he's drinking. Like, there's so many things. Like, I know personally me, if I was out there doing what he was doing, and I'm talking about Aries here, I'd be eating the fried chicken. I'd be eating the takeout. You know what I'm saying? I'd be eating burgers all the time too. Because I just want that, that quick meal. I'd probably be drinking too, and I'm diabetic and I shouldn't be. But, like, I hope homeboy goes and gets checked because, like, that whole energy he has, and then he just fizzles out after, like what Vlad was saying. Like, he's like, yo, I responded to him, and he said, yo, we'll talk about this later. So all of a sudden now, dude is like, chill. But then people are like, yo, he's probably scared. I don't know if he's scared. It could just be like he's just crashing out. Like, he's just tired. And I don't mean crashing out as in like, ooh, he's crazy. I mean like he's like in diabetes, right? And I'm saying this because I keep thinking that he might be diabetic. If you're high, if your blood sugar is high, like, 25s, and in Canada, we go by, past 10, like past 8 is high. I know in America they use some different crap. But out here we do it that way, right? It's different readings, but it's the same thing, right? Because I'll hear them say like, yo, my blood sugar was 500. I go, dude, what the hell? But I don't know because we use a lot of metric out here and stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, so let's say homeboy is rocking high blood sugar, 25%, right? And his pancreas is still working, but is giving him delayed insulin or whatever. And then this man then gets the insulin dropped, right? He would be tired after, because that happens to me. If I am high and I take some insulin to drop that, dude, I'm extremely tired after. And I mean, that usually happens like, when you're diabetic and you have a low blood sugar, and then you try to get that up as quick as possible, and just the the down and up will really wear you out, make you want to take a nap. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what happened to homeboy. I could be wrong. I'm just speculating here. So don't be like, yo, this guy's talking crap. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Like I've said, I am a diabetic. So I would assume like if you're living with a disease or an illness, you would understand it a lot more than regular people. I'm not saying I know more than diabetes doctor. No, I don't. But I'm looking at dude and I'm like, yo, those eyes, man, like the darkness is really dark. Like, I mean, does he put the stuff under your eyes to like get rid of the dark lines and all? I don't know, man. But listen, I'm only doing this video as a concerned person. Like, I honestly love Aries' work. I think he's crazy and he does some really outlandish stuff, because even when he was arguing with Vlad and he started doing the cannabis stuff and all that, I'm like, not the weed, the actual rapper. I'm like looking at this guy, I'm like, yo, what is the point of all that? He's just talking, just to talk. And I'm like, he wasn't getting to the point. I mean, I do that too. I don't get to the point. But it's like, Aries, you know, like why are you dogging this man? Like he was calling him Gadget and all this other stuff. And I was thinking Inspector Gadget and he was saying Gadget. And I'm like, dude, I felt like after he just had a crash out after, like he just sat there and he went to sleep, took a nap because he was so tired after doing that. That's not healthy, man. Anyways, my point is, if you are, you know, going through stuff in life and you haven't seen a doctor in a while, just go see a doctor and get blood work, man. Anything could creep up on us. You know, no matter how much money you have, anything could just creep up and tap you on the shoulder and be like, hi, I'm here. You know, like, anything can happen. There's so many illnesses out there now. There's so much things that can happen to us now. You know, doctors are there for a reason. They don't go to school for years and years and years to be useless, you know. Let them doctors get that work in, man. Like, you know, get the blood work, you know. I do blood work every 3 months because I'm diabetic, because we got to check everything. Kidneys, hemoglobin, they check cholesterol. They do all that, man. And, you know, if Aries is sick, man, or he's going through some stuff, I wish him well and hope he gets better. If he doesn't know, I hope he really gets checked. You know, put some of that money into your body, man, into your life. I know he's a dad. I don't know, but I could have sworn he said he was a father, and he's got a wife, and, you know, you want to be there for everybody, right? So anyways, that was my video on Aries. I wish him well. And, you know, if you're trolling him, do whatever you want, but I'm not. I'm more concerned about his health and well-being, and hope that he, you know, find some peace with all this beef he's been going on. Because, bro, you're beefing with everybody and you got to chill. Just take some time off. Take 6 months, man. And just get yourself looked after, man. You know, like, take some time off. Get off the net. Stop fighting with people and just chill, bro. Life is too short to just be fighting with everybody. Just chill, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe. And if you want to see other videos of me talking about stuff, check the playlist. Well, there's no playlist. Check my other videos on my page, Nufftingz Speaks, and I'll see you in the next video.
Another late night chasing down the light for the grind that Nufftingz has to fight against the voices